Okay, one of the next things that we're going to talk about adding to our story, if it doesn't already exist, or if it does exist, how are we going to improve it, is dialogue. Dialogue is the conversation that happens between one or more characters in your story. Now that's not quite the same as just having a character think to themselves. It's more about what they're speaking aloud so that somebody else around hears what they're saying. Now, we've been working in Grammar Bean on all kinds of quotations that people have been saying. That's kind of along the lines of dialogue, but when you add multiple lines or multiple characters speaking, it gets a little more complex. First of all, dialogue is, again, what the character is saying aloud. So we have to go back to that page where we did all the planning about our character to think about what is it that my character is most likely to say based on all the things that I know about them. Okay, think about when I did my story. Mine was about a character named Victor Pincus. And he was kind of, as I was describing him, he was an older man. He was a science teacher, maybe a little bit boring, kind of traditional. Would he be the kind of person that would walk up and say, "For shizzle, get that homework in, dude"? No, that doesn't match his character. So dialogue has to be real to the character. In the same way, if you're writing about a 13-year-old boy, he's unlikely to go to his mother and say, "Mother, I would enjoy dining on that tonight." That's not something that sounds like what the character would say. But at the same time, we want to be really careful about using slang. Now, what's meant by slang? Well, a lot of times when we're speaking, it's not the same as when we're writing. So we've got to strike a balance. Our dialogue, the conversations between characters, have to be realistic, but at the same time, we don't want to make it too slangy. In other words, if I ask, "What's up?" to a character, and they reply, "Nuttin'," that might be true, that that's how people speak, but in writing, it starts to make your writing look a little sloppy. Okay? Now, that's one thing about dialogue. An important thing about dialogue for you to know is how it looks on a page. So I'm going to put up a piece of dialogue from a story that we're going to be reading very soon to show you how it looks on a page. All right, as you look at the dialogue in this particular story, you can notice right off the bat, without reading very much of this story, you see a lot of places where words start and there's maybe just one word on the line and then it starts to a new word. When you have a new character introduced into a story, every time that that character speaks and you go back and forth between two different characters, it starts a whole new paragraph. So in this particular episode of this story, there are two characters who are talking back and forth to each other. And each and every time that they're speaking, it starts a new paragraph or a new line. Let's just read through this one together. "No, we don't. June is my name, and I don't give you permission to use it. Your name is Fish Eyes." She pinched me hard. "Got it, Fish Eyes?" The next Tuesday, the other June stood again next to me at the edge of the pool. "What's your name?" "June." "Wrong. Your name is Fish Eyes." "June." "Fish Eyes, you are really stupid." She shoved me into the pool. So here, there are two girls who are having a conversation. Both of them have the name of June. One of them is telling the other one, "You don't have permission to use the same name as me. I'm going to call you Fish Eyes." I can tell, even though both of them are named June, I can tell which one is kind of the mean June based on what she says and does, and which one is the nice June based on what she says and does. Now, dialogue is so important in helping us understand what the characters are thinking and doing. And so in part 2 of our video, I'm going to show you how to take your dialogue even a step further so that it really reveals a lot about what's going on in your story and your character.